So this little whisper shot of Azeroth may not be Azeroth at all, and that is supported by how the logo of the last Titan is the exact same thing as the primal incarnate prison, one huge prison created by the Titans. Xal'atath here is holding on first glance the essence of Galakrond, but in fact it is the essence of Yogg-Saron, and by all accounts she already has the essence of Azeroth and seems to be going after Yasharaj in Pandaria next, which is a huge hint for a future Old God storyline. These Nerubian forms are super suspicious by how playable they look. These humans are only a branch of another Arathi kingdom we are yet discovering, signifying another new island which might be patch content. So let's take a look at what you missed from the World Soul Saga cinematics, not the regular boring stuff, but the really hidden gems and foreshadowing for the future. Season of Discovery was just released and nothing can ruin your fun more than lag, especially if you live in an area with bad ping. Luckily, this video sponsor, Lagafast, is the perfect solution. It can not only boost your ping, but it can also improve your FPS, and it provides you a comprehensive collection of add-ons directly to the app, tailored just for Season of Discovery, guaranteeing you a seamless and enjoyable gaming experience. Lagafast is also not just for World of Warcraft, but almost all other games, and it is also compatible with both PC and consoles. So, no more delays and frustrations, vanquish high ping, and best of all, you can try Lagafast completely free with my link in the description. Improve your gaming experience and download Lagafast. So I don't want to repeat the same things, I mean you probably already know. That is why I want to focus on what you actually missed from the World Soul Saga announcements. I'm pretty certain all of you already know about Anduin, what happened to him, the history, the little throwback with his sword, to the Lich King with his sword, as well as Xal'atath's new form, Illyria, and all this stuff that is pretty obvious. Because of that, I want to mention a few things that seem like pretty big hints for the future, and also foreshadowing for what is going to be happening later down the line with this entire World Soul Saga, focusing not just on the CGI cinematic, but also on the announcement trailer, as well as the footage they had shown us on BlizzCon, and some screenshots that completely went under the radar. For the start, a bit of a low-hanging fruit, but most of you already know this, but for some reason, some people still haven't got the memo about it, but this 100% is not the tip of the sword of Sargeras. They literally confirmed it a day after the BlizzCon announcement, and it is 100% a setup for a future light influence of Azeroth that will later be unraveling. So now on to the real stuff. A really interesting thing from the start is that khaz'algar, the new zone, may be the place where the first ever world tree on Azeroth was created, as we had seen giant roots in the preview of the lowest, most Nerubian zone. I got a whole video on that if you want all the details, but let me really quickly sum it up for you. Elune'ahir is the first ever world tree on Azeroth. This is all brand new lore from 10.2 Dragonflight. It was created by elun'ahir and Elune, planted upon massive Old God corruption in order to cleanse it with life. Amatul didn't like this, so he ripped it out, creating a massive crater, but the roots still remained within this crater. They got strong, and mysterious guardians came in. Well, we got in the preview giant roots upon Old God corruption where the Nerubians live, which is the lowest most layer of khaz'algar, and Titan Forged Earthen later came in, as we know, to fix a supposed crater and settled here, guarding it ever since. The premise of this is that it could play a big role in the future, roots connected to Elune, Emerald Dream, and the Titans, involving a split between two Titan figures. You can definitely see how this could be a setup for a future Titan storyline in this entire World Soul Saga. Now, while we're down here looking at the lowest most layer of khaz'algar, you can also check out the super suspicious Nerubian forms. There is an ongoing theory that they can be playable because, first of all, they just evolved them into super playable optimized humanoid forms, and if they really wanted to make them more sinister just as new expansion enemies, they would definitely turn them into like giant bug old god monstrosities, not a mix between elves and humans that look like 3 times less scary than your regular Nerubian. Even crazier is that they seem to have a male and female form, and these 2 extra arms they have are 100% cosmetic and armor is not on them, meaning they could very easily equip regular playable armor. Now, another thing you might have missed from the Nerubian layer, and this is something you can barely see for a split second, but that is that Talanshi, the Zandalari queen, is chilling in one of the tents here. What she's doing here, literally no one can predict at the moment, but who knows, maybe there is some connection between the Nerubians and the trolls or something going on, because as you may remember, they had a massive war in the ancient past, specifically the Zandalari, the so-called Troll-Akir war. Now, all of these are little things, but when it comes to the big stuff, there are two really mind-blowing things going on right now, which, while obviously not confirmed, seem like a big setup for the overarching storyline of the entire World Soul Saga. So, first is the one that people noticed immediately as we got the announcement, and that is that Azeroth may in fact be one big giant prison. I've got a whole video on that if you want all the details, but let me sum it up super quick. The last Titan logo is the exact same thing as the primal incarnate prison we had seen at the start of the Dragonflight, like almost to the letter. The prison for the primal incarnates was created by Titan servants, aka it is a Titan prison, and it is a Titan prison for powerful elemental beings. There have been hints that Azeroth may be elemental in nature, but the elemental part isn't really that relevant here. It is that what the Titans had really done was imprison a being inside a planet, and that is why all the other mechanism exists. Like, this is the big conspiracy. Keep in mind just how many machineries we had seen all over Azeroth, how many Titan servants are out there, as they told us all of this was to nurture the Titan world soul, but really they may all just be tiny parts of this gigantic planet-sized prison mechanism. Remember, the primal incarnates slept inside this prison for 20,000 years, but they were alive, they could hear everything, as Vernot says. Azeroth is also sleeping, and the Titans convinced us that it is a baby Titan, but it is entirely possible that this is just a being they put to sleep here so they can siphon the power for the Order Force. This goes even deeper as well, as recently we had hints that the Emerald Dream is not at all what we used to think, like this is the blueprint for the Azeroth's nature, and in fact, the Emerald Dream could literally be like this dream realm that is keeping Azeroth asleep, yet another part of the mechanism. Like, this is why it is called a dream. Think about it, like an illusion, a coma type thing that Azeroth is in that we can actually access. That may also be why it is connected to the death realm of Arderville, but that is a story for a completely different video. Keep in mind, if this really is true, it changes all the lore entirely, and Chris Madsen did say we will uncover a vast conspiracy. Furthermore, this also relates to the cinematic, as it changes everything about the Sword of Sargeras as well, which is obviously the focal point of the entire cinematic. One of the theories is that Sargeras was aiming to break this prison mechanism, maybe even aiming at khaz'algar, which is right next door to Xal'atath, and that is why the Dragon Isles awoke, and now Azeroth is actually whispering to us, aka the prison is half broken. However, that is a theory, but that leads us into an even crazier thing, and in my opinion the most important thing, and that is Xal'atath and what you missed from the cinematic. It might sound a little bit crazy, but it makes perfect sense when you put the puzzle pieces together. So in the cinematic, you might have seen the artifact that Xal'atath is holding. This is the essence of Galakrond, the gigantic undead dragon. Galakrond is 100% irrelevant here in the grand scheme of things. Hear me out on what is going on. So we've just learned in the Dragonflight that Galakrond was actually corrupted by Yogg-Saron's essence back in Northrend. Therefore, Xal'atath took the essence of one single old god, Yogg-Saron. Back at the end of BFA, it was the blade, like the actual blade named Xal'atath, that stabbed and therefore was infused by N'Zoth's essence, and mysteriously, this blade just disappeared into thin air and no one knows where it is. If Xal'atath got it, she also has the essence of N'Zoth, so 2 out of 4 at this point. Now, we have hints that in 10.2.7 we're going to Pandaria, we have data mined the entire continent, time walking stuff, we got the Harbinger quests, and the patch is quite literally called the Dark Heart. You know what is known as the Dark Heart of Pandaria? Literally, the Heart of Yasharaj. It was literally called the Dark Heart of Pandaria. This means that Xal'atath may be inbound for Pandaria to claim the third essence of the Yasharaj, and if this is the case, she has 3 out of 4 old gods. The only remaining old god at this point is Khaz'algar, and as you may know, he is right around the Sword of Sargeras that is now the focal point of the war within. Even more interestingly, Blizzard already told us on BlizzCon that Nerubians, aka the servants of Xal'atath, are dealing with old god blood under the look of Xal'atath, and they're discovering it all around khaz'algar. I know, might seem like a crazy theory, but seeing that they told us that the old gods are dead, that Xal'atath is creating Black Empire 2.0, she may be collecting all the old gods and their blood in order to gain power to complete the ultimate void mission, which we are yet to discover. Now, of course, this is a conspiracy, but let's take another look at a thing you might have missed from the cinematic. So guys, without a doubt, seeing these new Arathi humans, they look super cool, just like these uber paladins, as Blizzard called them, light fanatics that settled inside the zone. But there are a few things you missed, not from the cinematic itself, but from the post-BlizzCon lore interview. In the ancient past, there was the united Arathi Empire, that is the ancestor to all humans. When this empire split, new kingdoms were created all over the continent, from Stormwind to Lordaeron to Gilneas to Dalaran. Well, one of these groups ventured far away from the continent, but they're not these light fanatics that so many people think they are. This group settled on some zone we have not yet discovered, as we can never actually encounter these guys, and then from this new kingdom, the more fanatical light group ventured for khaz'algar as they heard about a light star that fell into Azeroth. This means that there is yet another undiscovered human kingdom on some zone that should be bigger and stronger than this group you're yet to discover, and this could be Xal'atath. By the way, Xal'atath is still 100% happening. People thought this was a fake leak, but this is a place that is not yet discovered, and also the Titan place called Ul'dah that was foreshadowed is going to be happening soon as well. What is interesting is that these humans seem to have multiple forms, the Kul Tiran, the regular human form. They also have developed a brand new technology based on the light in this crystal, and what Blizzard told us is that they're trapped in this zone and they can't seem to leave for some reason we're also yet to discover. Even more interestingly, seeing that this kingdom split in the ancient past, therefore before the Alliance of Lordaeron was ever a thing, they have zero affiliations with both the Horde and the Alliance, which could be a ticket for a neutral light human playable race, which could give the regular human and Kul Tiran form to the Horde. I know, seems crazy, but the Horde is going to be playing bigger dwarves through the new Earth and Allied race, so it really isn't that out of order. Even more interestingly, everything we can see about the Arathi right now is hidden, like they're covered head to toe in armor, so their actual look may be completely unique and unlike anything we had ever seen before. Thank you for watching. Check out a possible return on Villadin by clicking on the screen, and check out my video on ancient Greek colonies in Spain by clicking on the screen as well. See you next time.